We're human beings. Help us. Give us what we need. We don't want to be the stepchildren anymore.
I am Maga and a Christian.
All y'all saying Trump cut funding, we had to cut funding. The Democrats, Joe Biden, sent billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine. Just think if that money had been spent right here. That's why Trump's having to cut funding.
I'm glad we can agree on one thing. I'm glad that we can agree that Trump's budget cuts had a direct impact on this tragedy in Texas, this flood. I'm glad we can agree on that. But you don't get to blame a previous administration and their budget for the budget that this administration just passed. Because I have been hearing it for 6 motherfucking months that we need to cut taxes so that I can have a little bit more money in my pocket. You all want to cut services that benefit everybody so that you can have a little bit more money in my pocket. And this is a direct fucking result of that. Direct result. And 80% of that money being sent to Ukraine was old fucking equipment. I know because my unit got entirely new Bradleys, but that's besides the point. The real issue is that collectively, us as a society went to the voting pamphlet and we made a decision. Am I okay with more people dying by cutting social services so that I can have money in my pocket? And the majority of Americans said yes. That is the harsh reality of the decisions that we make. Just for the record, I'm not blaming this tragedy on people that voted for Trump, man. This tragedy is way, way too fucking serious. But there are consequences to how we vote. There are consequences to cutting climate science's budget. You do not get to blame any other administration.
So Donald Trump just called the families of Texas victims evil for asking him whether or not the federal government and Trump administration could have done more to save lives in Texas. Don't believe me? Listen to Trump say it himself.
Is the press going to be respectful of this event, this horrible event, this horrible tragedy? Please, yes, go ahead, please.
Marissa Haas here with CBS News Texas. Several families we've heard from are obviously upset because they say that those warnings, those alerts didn't go out in time, and they also say that people could have been saved. What do you say to those families?
Well, I think everyone did an incredible job under the circumstances. This was, I guess Christie said, a 1 in 500, 1 in 1,000 years. And I just have admiration for the job that everybody did. There was just admiration. The only bad person would ask a question like that, to be honest with you. I don't know who you are, but only a very evil person would ask a question like that.
Only an evil person would ask a question like that. This reporter is asking a question on behalf of Texas residents who are wondering why over 120 people have been killed and many are missing. They're asking, why did Kristi Noem take 3 days to sign off on relief money to deliver aid to these communities? So you can't say you've done a good job for Texas when everything you've done has led to needless loss of life. By the way, your administration is the one responsible for trying to cut FEMA. Your administration is responsible for cutting funding for these vital weather services that would have predicted and alerted people that this was going to happen. These lives are on your hands.
You ask, I'm going to use your words. Who's to blame? Know this. That's the word choice of losers. Every football team makes mistakes. The losing teams are the ones that try to point out who's to blame. The championship teams are the ones that say, don't worry about it, man. We got this. We're going to make sure that we go score again, and we're going to win this game. The way winners talk is not to point fingers. They talk about solutions. What Texas is all about is solutions.
So that's what we got for American farmers, is zero income. We want them to fail. That's what you're saying out there. That's what Americans are saying right now is well, next time you'll vote the right way, or that's what you get for who you voted for. That, to me, I want to say it doesn't sound very American of people, but here lately, that's all we're doing is complaining. The last thing I want is an American business to fail. I don't know how much more we're going to see for the next 3 or 4 years. Last thing I want is an American farmer to go under, because us as Americans didn't want to do anything to support them. I don't care what side of the fence you're sitting on in this. The last thing we need is our land to be gobbled up by our corporate people to lease it out to another country so that they can come in and do what they want on the soil. Think about it, people.
For decades, we've been told that we can't feed kids free lunch because that's socialism. We've been told that we can't give partial credit towards college scammy loans because that's socialism. We can't have universal health care. Your Nana can't get the cancer treatment that she needs because Medicare for all would be socialism. We can't feed and help the homeless because of socialism. Everything that doesn't benefit you is socialism. We've been hearing this about everything that would be good for society for decades. And the second that you need a helping hand, it's a necessary thing. It's not just, guys, this is actually good for everybody. That's why I need that money. I voted for you. You voted against me. I voted so that you could stay in business and get the help you needed. You voted to hurt people that didn't look like you. And that's why I hope you have the day that you voted for. And I hope you get everything you voted for that we told you was going to happen. This is the America you wanted. You said it's not very American. You voted for this. You voted for this, and now you're getting what you voted for. And I'm sorry that you're not smart enough to have actually looked into what we told you was going to happen. Have the day you voted for.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and it's usually amazing having you here, my viewers, my subscribers, and ensure that you leave a comment so we can engage about the issues that are affecting us at home. So let's continue watching, and I'll be making my conclusions at the end of this video. And don't forget to comment, maybe subscribe if you haven't, and leave a like. It really goes a long way to boosting this video.
Nearly 80% of voters in what are called farming-dependent counties voted for President Trump in the last election.
I feel like a lot of American farmers, cattle people, a lot of people probably feel let down currently. Now, maybe there's a method to the madness, that's still to be seen.
Many are now taking their frustrations directly to Republican lawmakers at town halls across the country.
I'm about ready to lose my farm. I am pissed, and I'm pissed at you.
This is terrifying. What? Farmers across America are going bankrupt. They're calling it Farmageddon. Good. Serves them right for supporting Trump. You still don't get it, do you? Where do you buy food? The grocery store? And you think food prices are bad now? Just wait. Tariffs have decimated farmers. What do you think happens when you start ridiculous trade wars with other countries? They get mad? Yeah, understatement. China's the world's top soybean buyer, and soybeans alone brought in $13 billion for American farmers last year. Now those sales, almost all gone. Yikes. And that's not all. These immigration crackdowns, some farms lost 100% of their workers, all kidnapped by ICE. Now how do you pick food without workers? You can't. It's rotting in the field. Whoa. Plus, seeds, feeds, machinery, potash, pesticides, all more expensive than ever before. Then you add on high interest rates, and what do you get? Farmageddon? Bingo. And farmers were already 3 times more likely to die by suicide. Ugh. And don't forget, in 2022, J.D. Vance's venture capital firm heavily invested in Acre Trader, an app specifically designed to buy up farmland for cheap and sell shares to investors. Wait, so the goal is, want to control people? Control their food. So what do? Thoughts?
You've said you have almost no equity left.
It's getting down. It's getting low.
You think you can make it another year?
I don't know. Do you just keep going, rolling the dice, hoping things will turn? I mean, it's not looking good.
President Trump has promised a new bailout for American farmers, as much as $13 billion that he said would be paid for by the tariffs.
We're going to take some of that tariff money that we made, we're going to give it to our farmers, who are, for a little while, going to be hurt until it kicks in. The tariffs kick into their benefit.
Like most farmers we spoke to, Daniels and Carmack say they'd rather work their fields than rely on taxpayer money.
It will help pay some bills, but that's not fixing the problem. It's a Band-Aid when we need stitches.
Can you wait? Can you wait this out?
Farm families can't wait.
I hear it's affecting your health.
Yes. 4 blood pressure pills a day. 3 different medicines. 2 years ago, none.
What do you think about when you go to bed at night?
What's going to be left in a year, 2 years? Am I the one that broke what started in the late 1800s?
This is the first time in my life farming that I still have crop in my bins that I can't sell. Basically what we're getting out, a bushel of corn or a bushel of rice, would be like you making $5 an hour and trying to pay your bills at home. Mexico and China are the 2 biggest rice buyers for the United. They buy more rice off of us than anyone, and when they stop buying rice, we have nowhere to go with the rice. It won't be a trickle-down effect. It will be like flushing a toilet if the ag industry collapses. Totally 100% dependent upon the Lord Jesus Christ. I surrender it to Him.
I got to farm with my dad every day. It's a way of life. It's a wonderful way of life. And it's at risk, and it shouldn't be.
The impact of Trump's tariffs is being felt in the heartland.
Soybean farmers here are now suffering economically like they haven't in decades.
Right now, we are harvesting soybeans in Marengo, Illinois. My family has been farming since 1846. I'm the 5th generation. We're a grain operation. We grow corn, soybeans. I am a product of the pioneers. It's history. You don't let that go. One of the best memories that I had was just my dad teaching me how to drive a tractor. I got to farm with my dad every day. It was pretty cool. How many people could do that? It's a way of life. It's a wonderful way of life. And it's at risk, and it shouldn't be. It's total bullshit. Human lives are at stake. It's stupid. The whole thing is stupid.
I'm very proud of him. He's done a great job. He's kind. He's very caring. He cares about other people. I didn't really want him to be a farmer. When my husband got sick, he asked if he could take over the farm. He said, "Mom, give me 3 years. Just give me 3 years." So that's what we did, and it's turned into 16 years.
Harvest is usually the best time of the year. It's literally the fruits of your labor. This is the time where we as farmers get to celebrate all of our hard work and that we get paid for our year's worth of work. And unfortunately, this one has a real bitter taste to it because the money is being spent right now in Argentina and being given to billionaires. Farming's hard enough as it is, dealing with Mother Nature, but this year especially is very challenging because of the tariffs that have been put upon us. Our cost of production has increased and our markets have dropped dramatically. And this is really putting a major strain on all farmers right now. If anybody who's not a farmer and they say, well, what do I care about what's happening with farmers? What does that matter? Well, in Illinois, 20% of all jobs revolve around agriculture. And when farmers have money, we spend it, and we spend it on really big high-ticket items like combines or tractors, all of whom are made in major Rust Belt areas. And those are really high-paying, good jobs, and that trickles down to the waitresses who get better tips, to our schools because people have more income, the schools get better funded. And right now, we're just in a major holding pattern because we have no income. The American people are hurting right now. The farmers are hurting right now. There is absolutely no reason for this.
Our grain prices are down. We have tariffs. We have a bumper crop. We don't have people to sell it to. China hasn't bought one of our beans. We don't have those markets anymore because of the tariffs.
I'm looking at the commodity prices, where they're at, which is how I get paid. I'm having a real difficult time trying to give a positive outlook for 2026. When President Obama was in office, we had a wonderful jolt of energy because we had an administration that said, we're going to have advanced biofuels power our country. And then Trump got in there and decided to have his trade wars again and everything else and to roll back all those environmental protections, and the ag economy started to tank. Joe Biden gets in there again. Hey, we're going to have advanced biofuels. We're going to have airline fuel that comes from corn-based ethanol. What happened? Prices went up again, up to an all-time high, right where they were. Trump gets back in there again. We're going to have a trade war, and boom, prices are tanking again.
President Trump is said to be considering a bailout of at least $10 billion for farmers. That may be too little too late.
We don't want a bailout. We want a market. Bailouts are Band-Aids. We aren't even made whole off of this. That's money that should be going towards senior citizens. That's money that should be going for the Affordable Care Act. That's money that should just be going to regular tax cuts for normal Americans and not billionaires. What he is doing is destroying our markets. And when those markets disappear, we're not going to get them back. We need to have a new policy. We need to have an ag policy that works for farmers again. And we know what works. We have to be able to make a living doing this. The years that we do the best are when our products are in demand. And our products, overwhelmingly for the history of this country, are in demand when we have a strong export market. And we have to keep those markets alive. We have to do that. And this administration isn't doing that. People came to this country for opportunity. Opportunity equal land. And we're giving that up. And it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. Part of the reason why the greatness of this nation is because we take care of people, and there's values of the family farm that need to be upheld. And it's good for America.
You know what I mean? The Republican government was claiming that socialism doesn't work in the United States. And now, these farmers, they had it. Maybe, probably, they didn't know what was the meaning of the word socialism. And that's why maybe they liked Trump. Because he said that wouldn't work. Because Kamala Harris maybe wanted to promote it in the United States. And they hated her. Maybe that hatred led to them voting Trump. And now they really want socialism back. What are your thoughts?
Farms in deep red Texas are shut down, and Donald Trump is the reason. Now, as you know, Donald Trump has shifted ICE from focusing on criminal immigrants to going after easier targets such as job sites to pump his numbers up. But farms are hurting because of this, as many of their workers are either being deported or not showing up for fear of being caught up in these raids. And because of this, they're essentially shut down and no work can be done. Just take a listen to one farmer.
3 weeks it started to slow, but this last week or so has been huge. That's when it's like zero people wanting to come out. And
yeah, zero people going to work the farms. And while yes, these farmers are in the find out phase, we're all going to be in it, because they're talking that our food supply is going to be shut down or have major interruptions. And it's not just Texas, it's California and Washington. We are finding out that yes, immigrants do help the American economy. Immigrants are part of the American fabric. We just didn't realize it till it was too late.
It's Joe from Georgia. So this is news out of Texas. But folks, these are alarm bells ringing for the entire United States. And our government is not listening. Overnight, multiple farms in the state of Texas completely shut down. And the reason for this shutdown was because they have lost almost 100% of their workforce. Now, we know this is the result of the immigration raids and stricter enforcement, but the ripple effect is going to be felt all the way across this country. Now, you've got crops that are rotting in the fields. You have livestock that is not being attended to at all. And that takes a lot of personnel. And we're talking, so now we're getting every area of food to include meat. And the communities that surround these farms, those businesses and those people who depend on the income from these farms, it's creating disasters for small communities in Texas. Now, this is not stopping at Texas farms. This is going to end up all the way across America, especially in the breadbasket, the middle of the nation, because they have tons of immigrant help. But folks, the alarm bells are ringing. Your food on your plate is being affected. So you got to think about it. It won't be soon until either prices go ridiculously high or you just won't have any food to buy.
Whoa, 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 what is going on in Texas? Texas is taking a 1, 2, 3 punches. First with farmers. Oh, farmers are taking it on the chin. These tariffs are no good for farmers in Texas. But that's not it. $60 oil? $60 oil for oil companies down in Texas? Yeah, loss of jobs and companies going bankrupt is on the menu. Yeah, $60 oil in Texas, no bueno. And the third hit to the stomach happened today. Yeah, China's saying no to Texas beef. Yeah, China will not be receiving Texas beef anymore. So that is 3 punches that Texas just can't take. Farmers, the oil, and now the beef. Texas is in real trouble. What are they going to do? I don't know. But as long as these tariffs hang around, it's going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. And Texas is now in big trouble. Like and follow for more.
Alright, we've got some major news. The heads of the Maga movement are scared shitless, and that's not me exaggerating, they're admitting it. Apologies for looking like an old man, but I took out my contacts for the night. Steve Bannon at a speech today saying if we lose the midterms and we lose 2028, some in this room are going to prison, myself included. Alright, so there is both a very obvious good side to this and a very obvious bad side to this. Let's explain it. The good side of this is it confirms what a lot of us already suspected after the elections on Tuesday were a total blowout for the Democrats nationwide. We saw races in Minnesota, in Georgia, in California, in New York, in Illinois, in New Jersey, and in Virginia all swing to the Democrats without question. Political analysts are very much correct right now when they say that the elections on Tuesday were a test of whether or not Americans are willing to put up with Trump, and the result was a resounding fuck no. In addition, there were 30 Moms for Liberty elections nationwide. Every single one of them lost their election. And the reason I bring that up is because one of the main events that led to MAGA building up so much power nationwide was Moms for Liberty candidates infiltrating local positions, especially school boards. So to see every single Moms for Liberty candidate either up for election or up for re-election lose their races all at the same time is a huge warning bell. What happened on Tuesday backed up what I've been trying to tell a lot of you for most of this year. MAGA does not have anywhere near as much control as they think they do, and what control they do have is rapidly slipping. This isn't stopping evil things from happening, but this is absolutely the extinction burst of MAGA. Now, as for the bad news, this is the extinction burst of MAGA. And how an extinction burst manifests is that the ideology which is going extinct suddenly goes through an explosive and hyper-aggressive period of trying to propagate itself as aggressively and offensively as possible. This is the ideological equivalent of a rat knowing that it's in the corner and now it has nothing left to do but bite, claw, and attack as much as it can until it is dead. Which is exactly why Curtis Yarvin talked earlier about needing to flee the country, and why now people like Steve Bannon, Stephen Miller, and Tom Homan are saying we need to get all of our goals done really fast right now. We need to ramp up how fast we're getting these things done. What this means is that MAGA knows after the elections on Tuesday that if they do not get everything they need to done by the midterms next year, then their ideology is dead beyond saving, which is precisely why Steve Bannon said, hey, we're going to be going to prison if we don't win the midterms. The real people who are going to be prison are people like Stephen Miller and Tom Homan and Steve Bannon, not the average MAGA voter, but they want to convince MAGA voters that they're going to be sent to prison too. MAGA has officially entered terminal fight or flight. They are going to get much more aggressive. They are going to get much more pushy about their agenda. But the flip side of that is, the more aggressive they get, the more they rush to get things done, the more mistakes they're going to make, the more lines they're going to cross. They push too hard, too fast, everyone will lash out. And I strongly suspect that if the midterms go the way that I believe they're going to go next year, we are going to see Donald Trump, Tom Homan, Steve Bannon, Steve Miller, and J.D. Vance fleeing the country because all of them know what's coming to them the second the actual rule of law is restored.
So thank you to everyone who has reached the end of this video, and ensure that you leave a like, a comment, and maybe subscribe. It goes a long way in boosting this video. So my 2 cents on the issues that are affecting Texans, you know what I mean? It's really sad to see our beautiful states being destroyed by greedy politicians. By politicians who are making policies based on billionaires or lobbyist interests. It's really sad. And when the majority are being affected by the tariffs, by the natural causes like floods and whatever, and the government is not really helping them out. And now we have our governor, Gregg Abbott, you know what I mean? Very incompetent fella, I know him. And one of the reasons that makes him win is because he has sided with Trump, you know what I mean? When Trump want the National Guard, Abbott send it. When Trump want anything done in Texas, Gregg does it. They were questioning, you know, the issue of gerrymandering, what happened in August. Trump asked him to do it outright, no questions. So one of the reasons that maybe I believe makes these governors toy with Trump is the fact that they depend on federal assistance to stabilize their budgets, and maybe that's the reason why they obey Trump so much. But my question is, why does these governors in red states hate their constituents? Why do they hate their voters? You know what I mean? Why? Tell me in the comment section, because I don't have a reason why they hate them so much. To the extent that their policies, all their policies, they are meant to destroy their lives, their livelihoods, name them. So it's really sad what's happening in Texas. A very blue state. You know what I mean? I usually say Texas is a blue state because we have 2 million more registered Democrats than Republicans. So how do they win? Don't tell me gerrymandering. My answer is majority of Democrats who don't come out to vote, and they are silent at home. Oh, politics is not my thing. Oh, politics is not my thing. Politics is your thing because the minimum federal wage has remained constant since 2009. As your housing insurance remained constant, as your mortgage remained constant, you know what I mean? As your property taxes remain constant. But hey, politics is not my thing. Politics is not my thing. You know what I mean? Farmers are losing their farms. You know what I mean? Healthcare, cuts. You know what I mean? Oh, politics is not my thing. Politics is not my thing. Politics is not my thing. Politics is your thing. Politics is a basic need in this country. So I really appreciate that if there is anyone from Texas who is watching this video, tell us about the issues that are affecting your home. So I can make a video about them, and maybe we can have a national coverage about those issues. So what I usually say is stay alert, stay focused. Don't fall for the government psyop. You know what I mean? Vote blue, talk blue, listen blue. Until the next video, thank you for your attention to this matter.